What's going on, guys? This is Mike the Detroit Borg with a look at the Logitech Cube, which is Logitech's new ultra portable mouse. They've never done anything quite like this. In fact, I've never seen anything quite like it, but it sort of replaces their defunct MX Air, which was sort of a mouse and presenter. But this is meant to be more ultra portable, meant to accompany things like the MacBook Air or the new line of Ultrabooks coming from all the other manufacturers. So let's go ahead and take a look. So nestled in this box is a Logitech Cube, so we'll pry that out of here. There we go. Indeed, it is exactly a cube. Very clever packaging. So inside the box, we can see that this is compatible with Windows, Mac, requires a USB port, and works with Logitech's unifying receiver. You will need Windows XP, Vista, or 7, or Mac OS 10.5 or later, and of course a USB port with internet access to download the software. So let's go ahead and take a look to see what else they've included. So it looks like down here we have our literature, which is kind of hard to get at. So we have Logitech important information, which is just legalese, so we're not going to read that. And it looks like that's all there is to it. So let's go ahead and get to the product. So let's take a look around the Logitech Cube packaging, which is a story in itself, certainly very interesting. Now this is available in two colors, black and white. And as you can see here, I have the white version. So if you get the black version, you have these black panels with looks like a silver trim. If you get the white version, you get the white panels with this black trim. So let's go ahead and crack into this. So we have this little slider box you kind of have to shake in order to get out. There you go. There is the Logitech Cube. Looks like it was probably supposed to be resting there, but it wasn't. So again, you have a padded interior with this blue liner. Very interesting. So there is the very tiny Logitech Cube itself. We're going to take a look at that in just a minute. So inside the packaging, we get the Logitech unifying receiver, which plugs into a USB port on either your Mac or PC. And we just have to pry out this foam cradle to get to more information. So look inside, getting started with your Logitech Cube, some information here. Alright, so we get a USB cable to charge it. It looks like we get a little carrying pouch, shows us where the power switch is and how to use the gesturing functions. So we're going to take a look at that. So there is our carrying pouch. And we have a little USB charging cable. Looks like a micro USB port with a standard USB connector. Alright, so let's take a look at the Logitech Cube itself, which is wrapped in plastic. So let's peel all that off. So there we have the Logitech Cube. Again, we have this multi-panel design. Only the top surface clicks, so when you click on it, you can see it moves. The rest of it is not touch sensitive. So this is actually a capacitive, touch sensitive panel, which you use to scroll, and then you click on it, just like a mouse would click. On the back, you have your USB connector for charging, and you have your on and off switch. So let's turn that on. You can see you have a little LED indicator, which also indicates your charge status. So it's green right now, telling me that it's fully charged and ready to go. And of course, on the bottom, you have your little sensor. Now, taking a look at that little pouch, you can see that the Logitech Cube slides in there pretty nicely and stays protected. Now, in terms of setting up the Logitech Cube, this couldn't be any easier. All you have to do is connect the unifying receiver to any USB port on either your Mac or PC. No software installation is required. It uses the standard mouse drivers, and you're ready to go. So you can see my mouse cursor is already active with this little mouse. So it's so tiny I can use it on the surface of the MacBook Air or on the table. Now when it comes to using the Logitech Cube, there are some limitations to keep in mind. So for example, the only thing you really have here is scrolling. So again, this is a capacitive, touch-sensitive area, so you can scroll up and down. You can't scroll right or left, and there's no multi-touch features like there is on things like the Magic Mouse or the trackpad. Now, in order to right-click, what you have to do is instead of pressing up here for left-click, you have to hold down here for right-click. So let me demonstrate. So we have Apple Store here. So if we select Mac, there you go. There's our Mac Store. Now, if I want to right-click, I have to move my finger down here toward the bottom and right-click. There you go. Now, it's not exactly easy to find, so if I'm too far down here, it won't move. So right here is the right-click. And that's left-click. So you get the idea here. It's a little cumbersome. It's something you have to learn when you're using the Logitech Cube. Now, in order to activate presentation mode, all you have to do is lift it off the table, and it goes into presentation mode, which now means that when you use the left click button or the main click, it will advance to the next slide. But in order to go back slide, what you have to do is rotate it on its back and press that same button while it's upside down. So if you get the idea here, again, forward, back, forward, back. So it works pretty neat. Now if you click the right click button down here, it just takes you out of the app. Now, like I said, the Logitech Cube essentially replaces the MX Air, which is a similar combo device. It's both a tabletop mouse and a presenter. But what the MX Air did and the Logitech Cube does not is that this could also be used in the air. So essentially you can use this like a laser pointer. So you could manipulate the mouse in the air so it could detect orientation in the air whether you're up or down. It wasn't always the most successful device. It didn't work great, but it was a feature that this does not replicate. So you can't use this like the MX Air in the air. This is only for basically using it as a clicker. Now in the end, I think the Logitech Cube is a very clever design, very innovative. There's nothing else quite like it out there. And I think it's definitely a solution for business travelers in particular who are carrying these ultra portables and don't want to travel heavy with a bag that supports their laptop, their power supply, their mouse, and their presenter. So this sort of goes along with the Ultrabook universe, allows you to carry a very lightweight laptop with a very lightweight bag, and you can sort of just squeeze this in there if you want it. Now this obviously replaces the trackpad if you need it. A lot of people don't like using the trackpad over a mouse, so certainly that's an option for those users. I happen to be one of them. I don't like using trackpads over a mouse. I prefer to use a mouse if I can, but I usually don't want to carry a separate mouse. Now this is something I would actually throw in my bag because it's so portable. The only drawback to using something like this, however, is the fact that because the surface area is so small, it doesn't support multi-touch gesturing, which is a feature important to a lot of Mac users. I'm used to using multi-touch gesturing on my Magic Mouse and my trackpad, so it's kind of a problem to lose those features for the sake of having this tiny mouse. So I'm not sure if I would prefer to use this over the trackpad. I think it's something that will take time to sort out. So in the end, guys, I think this is definitely something to take a look at. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again in the next one.